The Doc. This is Dr. Mark phoning in.
Can you hear me, Doc?
I can hear you.
Well, I'm on your headset right now.
But can you hear me?
No.
Well, all right.
But
then
that's
that means
one.
It's not working.
Well, listen, that's half the problem solved. We know that the audience can hear you when you talk.
So,
That's a
okay,
good
so
start.
you know what? If anybody calls in and they want to ask me a question, you can relay the question to me.
I can give you the
How does
headset.
that sound? Nah, then we're going back and forth and back and forth.
All right. You're right.
Anyway, I'm going to hang up as long as we know what's going on. Well, we hope we know what's going on.
You could just stay in that and finish the show with this on. There's nothing.
Can I sit out here with the phone and do it?
Yeah, you can sit next to me. It doesn't seem to be echoing at all.
Then that's what I'll do. Because it's obvious my headset's not working.
You know, maybe I should listen to this headset that works and finds out if it's echoing. Nothing echoes on this one.
Well, I hear you fine on the regular phone. So. Hello? Hello? Are you here? Well, first of all, that thing is, the light is going on. Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Hello?
Just fine. I heard you before, too.
Okay. Well, guess what?
We hear each other.
That's it.
The only problem with it is you were disconnected. You're disconnected.
How did that happen?
I have no idea. You're gone.
Let me call in again.
Now, for now, just leave this. Go back to your headset.
My headset.
Yeah, what's the difference? Nobody's calling in anyway. If somebody calls in.
Ladies and gentlemen, as long as I know you can hear me, I am going to discuss what the heck's been going on this week. It all started on Monday and Tuesday with the speculation that Bernie was going to fully endorse Hillary. Okay? He did so, but as the Rev
is fine.
Felix has told you, he hasn't pulled out of the race per se.
And there's a reason why. The reason is, just in case Hillary still gets indicted for something, because there's still a couple of things pending.
But I don't think they're going to make much of it. But because especially if you listen to Comey, he said there's really not much there. We know what the Republicans are saying.
Comey doesn't know what's there. He didn't investigate this stuff.
And we also know, what the average man in the street is saying. And what the average man in the street is saying is that if it was you or I who had done some of the things that Hillary would have done,
we'd be in jail.
We would have been in jail already. Okay?
I got a new name for her.
But it's not just her. You and I discussed this last week. It's anybody who's in the public eye, anybody in politics, short of committing a terrible atrocity, would probably get away with it.
Have you heard they've been interviewing this general, supposedly that...
yeah, Flynn.
Do you know why he had to leave the government? He had to leave what he was doing?
Well, supposedly he was a Democrat first. He was a 3-star general, I know, lieutenant general, but
he was in charge of a department or something.
I don't know. Why did he have to leave?
Because he used a term.
A racial epithet?
No. Radical.
Oh, radical Islamic terrorism.
Yep. And
did I say that?
Well, did I say that?
Oh, my goodness.
And he readily admits that's the reason why he was fired.
Well, first of all, are they radicals? Yes. Are they Islamic? Yes. Are they terrorists? Yes. So what's so terrible? And here I am. I'm a progressive, and I am very much a Democrat and a liberal, and I said it because that's exactly what they are. And I am not condemning the entire Islamic race, religion.
Nobody is. There's not a person.
But these people, that's exactly what they are.
Yes, they tell you that's what they are. They're the first one to tell you they're that.
Well,
and the government used to scrub every time you had the word Islamic terrorist. They used to scrub it from everything, so you'd never hear it. They even try to scrub it with in Orlando. They changed Allah to God, and when they gave us the translations, and they wouldn't let us hear what he said live because they did have recordings because he said all those things that they say, the terrorists, and they didn't want us to hear it for some reason. They think if we're stupid if we don't hear it, we don't know he's a terrorist. Come on. Oh, did you also hear what Trump said? Not Trump, Obama said?
When?
Just in general.
No.
All lives matter cannot be said. It's not correct. It's an insult.
It's an insult, huh? All lives do matter.
Just remember too, when this move started, this Black Lives Matters started. It was Black Lives Matter too. But then they dropped the two, and they just said Black Lives Matter. There's a big difference in the meaning between Black Lives Matter too and Black Lives Matter. Would you agree?
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big difference. And also, you got to remember how this organization was formed on a fictitious murder, assault.
Well, I think it started in Ferguson,
Hands
St.
up,
Louis.
don't shoot.
Hands up, don't shoot. Yeah.
Except that never happened. But that's how Black Lives started, and to me, I don't think they really care if any of it is true or not.
Well,
But
you see, what gets me is that Philando Castile's fiance she herself said, all lives matter. She said Asian lives, black lives, white lives, all lives matter.
And she also changed the story a little bit about what happened to her.
Well, this I don't know. What are you alluding to?
Well, she originally told the police that she was being held for 6 hours.
She didn't get to see her baby. Yeah, her 4-year-old daughter.
And she was held for 2 hours in a low pressure. They showed pictures of it. It was a low pressure interrogation room, so it had toys in it and different things. It was just like a pleasant surroundings. And they had her there for 2 hours. And now they're saying there's a good chance the cop did it because there was a gun being pulled on him and he was in danger.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. You weren't there. All we have is speculation. Right now, that's all we have is speculation.
Well, as I said, stories are changing a little bit and things are changing, but they always change.
I was going to say, stories always change.
And I think the truth usually comes out much later. And look what happened with those 6 policemen in Baltimore. 3 of them.
Well, so far they've only had 1 on trial, and
3 on trial. 3 are acquitted already.
3 of them were?
Yeah.
Oh, where have I been?
Yeah, they go in, and 5 minutes later they're gone. They're acquitted. And that's so.
Well,
the one that they had they pressed the most charges on, that he had murder and all that, he was acquitted already. Everybody else has got much smaller charges.
Wow.
They didn't do anything illegal.
Well, the one thing, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I will say, if this guy, Freddie Gray was saying that he needed medical attention and they were ignoring it, then it would be, what's the term?
Negligence?
Criminally negligent homicide. Okay, because it's a light sentence, but the bottom line is because they didn't heed what he was saying. But the same thing can be said for Eric Gardner in Staten Island, because he kept telling the cops he couldn't breathe. Okay, and they kept their hands around his, well, I guess around his throat. I don't know. Again, I only know what I saw.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't there.
Oh, the other thing they said after he was shot, the one in Louisville, was Fayetteville. Where was he shot?
You're talking about
The first one, the one
Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Louisiana. They say, after the guy was shot, they tried to give him CPR. Everybody says they just left him alone, but they said no, he was getting CPR.
Well, but then, think back to South Carolina when the guy was stopped for a routine traffic stop, okay, and he was like a few months behind in his child support payments.
Yeah.
And he started running.
Yeah, that was obviously wrong.
I mean, the bottom line is the cop said he was reaching for his taser, but the guy was 25 feet ahead of him. I don't think you can get a taser to travel 25 feet, and he reached for his gun and he shot him. Then he realized he made a mistake.
Well, there's been another guy. There's the other guy also. There's the old man also said that he was reaching for his taser and got his gun. Remember a while back?
They all become, he said, look, I would like to give the police every benefit of the doubt. They don't have an easy job. My son's a cop. They go out there every day. They put their lives on the line. How many cops, and this happened shortly after all of these incidents. Cop stopped somebody for a routine traffic stop, went to the driver's side, and the driver shot him in the face twice. Killed him for a routine traffic stop.
Yep.
Okay, so you never know what you're going to face. And you have to be very careful. I know every 6 months my son goes to qualify on his weapon, and they have obstacle courses they have to go through. All this training, and then they have additional training down at the academy. Look, anything can happen, and you just have to hope and pray that at the end of the day, he goes home to his family and people go home to their family, without incident.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's looking to start any trouble. Nobody's looking to kill
yes,
anybody.
There is.
No, the cops.
Al Sharpton.
The cops are not.
Al
The
Sharpton.
cops.
Al Sharpton is looking to cause trouble.
You're just a big mouth. But I'm saying what cops are looking for trouble?
Nobody.
How did they get to these positions?
The last thing they want to do.
So how did they get into these positions? The cops. They get a call. Go there.
Right.
They're not looking to go to these spots and chase somebody. There. There's a robbery. There's somebody claims there's a man with a gun.
Unless they're riding in their patrol car and they see an obvious either crime being committed or somebody broke the law and they chase them.
But that's really a little more rare, I think, than most cops go out when there's a call. And and most cops probably cringe every time they get a call.
Well, I tell you, one time they cringe is when they get those domestic calls. They hate domestic calls.
Domestic calls or armed robbery,
You never know who's lying in wait. You
never know anything anymore these days.
No, it's very true. But one thing we do know, ladies and gentlemen, we know our phone number, and that is 646-595-3275. We have been officially on the air about a half hour
We're on
now.
the air already?
What?
We're on the air already? I thought we were just practicing.
Well, we always practice. I mean, if we're lucky, they can hear us and whatever. But we've been on the air for 30 minutes.
I never turned you on. So we're just practicing.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. I'm glad I didn't say anything to make a fool of myself.
Doesn't matter. I never turned you on.
Okay.
Nobody can hear anyway.
What do you say we put on a song there, Rev?
I
said the magic word, huh? Music.
Music.